Hey everybody, I'm Crow. Welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. It seems we can't actually search that person's pockets. If we have an unlimited amount of ingredient space, there between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers and notes half erased by the rain. Then we should definitely pick up all of the stuff we can. Because I do not believe that our inventory is getting any fuller for it. +1 damage reduction for 5 minutes. While few foreigners have much kind to say about the beer in Deerwood, where locals prefer to indulge in narcotics, beer is still a staple of every inn, home, and drunken feud. Oh great, it uncharted everything. So it seems that the inn is over here. Almost there. Our health is getting pretty low. Alas, you see 4 people gathered by the door of the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
I'm sure it's an overreaction. One of the other men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. We're humble folk, but we're no fools. Not like he thinks, mocking us while he shelters in our village. We don't take to that kind of talk from foreigners, especially not Adrians.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
Wow.
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
Is there like an angry Scottish guy in him or something?
That's where you're wrong.
I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. Back down, all of you. This is absurd. This is unnecessary. Wouldn't you rather be drinking than out here arguing? We don't want your charity either, foreigner. It sounds suspiciously like you're defending him. And then we had to kill the local bumpkins. Damn, we're strong! I wonder if this person is going to join the party.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You mean for slaughtering them? You're welcome. I'm glad I could help.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. Though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with dirt and many months of travel. But the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
That's actually pretty bad. 2 wizards? I don't know if I need another one.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan Ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. And half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Olaf goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh.
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
What are you doing in the Gilded Vale? Just how did you manage to cross those 3 drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did tell that one man to go fuck his sister. You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I see. For which I am grateful. Let's discuss something else, shall we? What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
Excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
Yep. And you. Like I said, I'm also a settler. I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. He has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
He nods at the gnarled old tree in the center of town. His darting glance takes in the tumble-down buildings and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expected such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
Okay, I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
Sure, what are the odds of you robbing me anyway?
Excellent. I shall follow you.
If it's anything like Baldur's Gate, this is going to split my experience in half, but I don't know, at least if he dies, it's not me. Simple clothing, a dagger, clubs. 3 copper pieces each. 1 copper piece each. I think that's how that works.
Got it.
Take that, you angry drunks. Everybody dies. I think it's funny he said he wanted to follow me so that he could get away from the inn, but then we just ended up going to the inn anyway. Because I definitely need to rest.
Hello.
The innkeeper bows her head curtly. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much in the good... by the way of a good meal today, she sighs, unless you're fond of cold porridge. I'm a wizard, could I heat it up for them? I'd like a room, please. I could use some reliable help. Do you know anyone looking for work? Could I see what you have for sale? Nothing for me, thanks. Of course, we're running a little short on goods these days, but we ought to have more soon. Beer, milk, grain, and camping supplies. 75 copper. I don't think we need that many, actually. How many do we have? 3 out of 4. We should totally buy one. Ah, but that's so expensive. Lasts for 2 rests, plus 1 perception, plus 1 mechanics. Oh, so you actually get to choose different rooms to give you different effects. The common room is free. Inns allow characters to rest without using camping supplies. Cheap rooms are usually available, but if you have copper to spend, you may consider the more expensive options. The bonus is they provide less for a long time and affect the entire party. That's really cool. Recruit adventurers. Oh, can you just get whoever you want and then, like, name them and do whatever you want with them? That'd be really cool. Parties management. Yeah, I think we're good.
Gods keep you.
I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. You only serve porridge. Olaf looks at you and shakes his head quickly. It isn't by choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in Deerwood, but we've had a damnable run of luck, is all. It's been a bad season for the crops, and we're running low on supplies. For party management screen, you can party manage. I sent Tenfrith up north to stock up. Tenfrith's our cook, you see. An artist with a good roast. But it's been days since he was supposed to return, and we haven't seen any sign of him. She sighs again. I've only just taken over from the last owner. Myself, I don't know what I'll do if he doesn't turn up. I could try and find him for you. Really? Her face brightens up. I'd be grateful if you did. He was traveling through the Valewood. It's probably nothing, a broken wheel maybe, but I do worry. You see him safely home, and I think everyone around here would sing your praises. Nobody much likes my porridge. Aw, that's sad. I could use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? Oh, wait, that's just for hiring people. I'd like a room, please. Let's just go for the cheap one. Campfire! Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of the Gilded Vale's gallows tree. Gilded Vale's gallows tree. The creaking of its ropes growing louder and in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman, whose face is shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up and her eyes open, as they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness. That makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks the word, Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating on your nostrils. Your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new, queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see the woman once more, if only to confirm she truly is dead. She is truly dead. It's crazy how that keeps happening. Party gained 464 experience. And hopefully we can help people. Orlane server. Okay, these people actually have names. I'm assuming that's stealing because there's a mask over it. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from the past seem to call out you. They're dead, aren't they? You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed. Taking stock of her inventory, potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs are scattered throughout her room, haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack, one item after the other. Careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place. But no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more. One hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks up to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen, anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. So they're alive, and she's drunk and I'm seeing things? As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. I can read people's souls? That's amazing. As you near, you reach out for the soul. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he's doing, and as he does, he lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking toward the boys, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops. Scanning the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun, a shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature, loosing the arrows. He wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrows fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There is a sudden, explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line. Running across the edge of the clearing, the boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he looses this last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds, and then slowly turn to look at the man. Newfound respect in their eyes, he smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. Man, was he worried about making that shot. He didn't want them to, lose faith in him or whatever, or disrespect him. Or he just wanted them to like him. That's probably a better way of phrasing it. They don't have names. They have names. Man, is this place ever in terrible condition? Mechanics. Oh, mechanics and lockpicking can get through. And this is just a table. Deerwood, Part 1, Early Colonial History. Lockpicks. Why can't I see that guy?
Why not? There, done.
Unlocked. Rapier, padded armor, duelist hat. Nothing of importance. I have a feeling they're each going to have their own stories. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. Voices from his past seem to call out to you. So it seems like instead of just talking to people, you stare at them like weirdos until you get their story straight from their soul. I mean, on one hand, I guess that means they can't lie to you. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. In the corridor, three smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man in the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head. Cackling, the trio position themselves in three parts of the room, and with a terse nod they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all three slump to the ground in agony. That's all in their minds. The burly man bows to a room of the unconscious and incapacitated before sauntering out, off-key whistling trailing behind him. So these guys were in a bar fight and they lost to a guy who looked like he was a big brawly guy, but he was actually a thinker and like a wizard or something, and he enchanted them. Reaching out. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at a wall. A man in a dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him expressionlessly, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest. copying sharp, angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally, the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes still black like holes, the twitches growing into convulsive shakes. And that's why they call him that. Can you actually see it on his chest? Nope. Must be lower. You see a long, empty road cutting through two large crop fields. The air is silent and the land seems too still for early afternoon. This woman walks slowly on the road, leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something wrong, but is unable to discern what it is. She stops sniffing the air, her nose high, her brow crinkles, and she casts about, looking for something. The air is clear. No clouds. She sniffs again, still looking around, confusion clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire? She looks out across the fields, her confusion turning to fear. She holds her hand up to block the sun from her eyes, and scans the fields again. Not finding what she was looking for, she jumps onto her horse's back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks, sending the horse shooting down the path, which bends around some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, horror now in residence on her face as she stares at the burned and charred mess that used to be her family's home. Tears well in her eyes as she kicks again, racing to the rubble. Man, is their lives ever messed up. It seems like happy endings just don't happen around here. Not those kind of happy endings, you know what I'm talking about. So it looks like next time we're gonna go and try and find that cook. And then probably explore up here. I want to go and try and find that guy if it's not too late, so that we can do the side quests. Find out whatever the reward is, get some better food here. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you liked it. Later, everybody.